Alright, this is going to be a video of this 42-inch Canarm brand ceiling fan I got at the Habitat Restore. I got it because I volunteer there, and what I do for them is clean up and fix fans and land they receive better nation, make them more presentable and run better than how they originally came in. Now, this was actually one of two identical ceiling fans that recently got donated. Really, the only difference between the two, at first glance, is the date, because this one is dated 1997, the other one is dated 1994. However, if you start looking closer, you notice some other things that are not quite the same. For instance, the blade brackets on this one are not quite as wide, as this part is a little bit slimmer. Another thing is the blades are also not quite as wide. And finally, the pull chains are also not quite the same because pulling them on this fan, they seem just a little bit more flimsy. That's just my opinion, at least. Anyway, the light kit does work. I'm using two 40-watt equivalent energy-saving compact fluorescent bulbs. And over here, one standard 40-watt incandescent. And turn that off. I'm going to turn the fan on now. Let's start with high speed. Now, performance-wise, they're pretty much the exact same fan, both of them. Really, not too much difference at all. In fact, it's probably identical performance. They both spin very fast on high speed, blow a pretty good amount of air. In fact, this could probably cool a large room with no problem, even though it's fairly unassuming in size, I guess. RPM wise is gonna go maybe 210, around that range. It's also fairly stable, even though the blades are not quite in perfect alignment. It doesn't really wobble too much. Okay, I think I'm gonna go to medium now. This probably spins at about 155 RPM. And finally for low, which will show with the lights on, to increase frame rate, so it just doesn't look like a big blur. And this is going to go around maybe 65 to 70 RPM. And I'll turn that off. And slow down the blades here. And I'm going to talk about some general information on it. Anyway, I actually did flip the blades themselves around because it was originally on both fans. The cane side was facing down. I'm using the just plain oak, as you can see. The reason I did that is because at the restore I noticed fans with cane take a lot longer to sell than fans with no cane. Plus, I think this generic standard cane looks so cheap because it's very common, not unique at all. Plus, after a while, if it's exposed to moisture, it does start to smell. Thankfully, this one doesn't have that. Anyway, now I'm going to talk about the pros and cons on this fan. I really like the fact that it gives you so many features. For instance, the blades, which I already mentioned about my opinion about the cane. It still gives you that option if you're into that, and also just the plain oak. Another thing is it does have a 3 tulip shade globe light kit. Tulip shades are not my favorite, usually speaking. However, I think it does suit this fan quite well. Another thing that I usually don't particularly like too much, I mean I don't mind it, but it's not something I'd specifically scope out a fan, is the polished brass finish. It does suit this model quite well, though. Not to mention, it could be downrod or flush mounted. Currently being used with the flush mount setup because I suspect it was installed somewhere where the ceiling was about 8 feet or less, because that's generally what flush mounting is good for. However, if you were to use a downrod, it would probably be something 8 feet or higher. That's just what I'm thinking, at least. It could have been installed in a high ceiling place. However, something tells me probably not. Alright, now I'm going to talk about some more pros, I guess. I really like the fact that the motor is very solid, much better than today's Canarm crappy fans. Definitely very heavy duty on both fans, not just the older version. And finally, it's fairly easy to service because I put some oil in there. Everything's accessible, the components are accessible in here and everything like that. So it's convenient if something breaks just to fix it. What I don't like, however, so I guess the cons, is it is fairly, well, I don't exactly know why they would cheapen on parts like this. I mean, it's not like they're going to save a huge amount of money. Though if they did do that for, I don't know, let's say 10,000 fans, it would definitely save Canarm something. But really, it's just, don't quite understand. And also the pull chain's kind of flimsy, and it almost feels like this one is going to break. Maybe the light was turned on and off a lot on this one, or maybe it's just cheapness. I don't exactly know. overall, I'd probably have to give this 3.5 out of 5 stars. Not a bad fan. It's kind of not really boring, but it's definitely not outstanding looking. But it does the job. Not bad quality. And yeah, anyway guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you could please tell me the model on this, because there's really no indication of it whatsoever, even on the sticker, I would much appreciate it.